Bandersnatch isn't the first film to play around with non-linearity, of course. One such film which always springs to mind as being an utterly perfect example in how to experiment with form is Christopher Nolan's Memento. Guy Pearce stars as Leonard Shelby, a man who suffers from anterograde amnesia, thus hindering his ability to make new memories. That proves difficult when on the hunt for the man who killed his wife, a mysterious John G. To place the viewer in Leonard's shoes and feel the difficulties of living with this form of amnesia, part of the film plays out in reverse chronological order, starting with Leonard killing a man. We don't know why initially, we don't have the context of the earlier scenes, just as Leonard doesn't have the context because he hasn't retained them. As the film goes on, we learn more about the murdered man, and it turns out that Leonard knows him to be someone called Teddy. By the end of the movie, we find out that Teddy isn't all that he seems, but also that his murder might have been out of spite. Unlike Bandersnatch, this is a completely passive experience. The viewer has no choice in how to watch the arrangement of colour and black and white scenes. The film has been constructed in a way as to leave the viewer guessing until the last possible moment. Bandersnatch instead invites the viewer to actively pursue plot information and find out what is going on. I think despite experimenting with form in two completely different ways, Memento and Bandersnatch both render the feeling of helplessness experienced by the protagonist in the viewer, through the way they present their narratives. Looping endlessly trying to make sense of Bandersnatch, even getting bored at the monotony of rewatching scenes and deciding on seemingly inconsequential differences, it forces the viewer to feel just as frustrated as Stefan. And whilst we get a clearer sense of events than Leonard Shelby ever will, we're still just as lost and imprisoned since we can't connect with him. He's doomed to forever shoot Teddy no matter what information we find out, because it occurs as a fixed point. Everything in the movie is, and by the end, both the viewer and Leonard is no closer to reconciling the trauma he has experienced. So if you'd like to learn about the elements of control, that's open to you, and if you'd like to learn about Theodore Rex, you can do that too?